Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 5th of June. It is Wednesday. We do have two slates to look at, a 6-game day slate and a 9-game main slate. Do have some weather in Philly, Washington, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. The worst being Pittsburgh right now. Um, as a reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options for today. And I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you're using FanDuel, uh, I would cut my pool into a half or third just because you don't have to be as creative when it comes to pitching because the pricing for hitters is not as tight. But let's dig in here. Taking a look at the day slate. We get Blanco against St. Louis, K-prop of 6.5 with juice on the under. A minus 175 favorite as the most expensive on the slate. And apparently I can't open up the pitcher card. So let's try to refresh here. But I don't mind picking on, there we go, picking on St. Louis with Blanco. It just needs to kind of take it easy with Nolan Gorman right now. But totally fine with Blanco. He's obviously shown some elite upside as shown by his no-hitter to begin the season. It's kind of shocking to consider him at 10.7K, but it is what it is, I guess. Nola against the Brewers. Not a slam dunk spot as much as I just don't really like the Brewers. Game total of 9. He is a minus 185 favorite. K-prop of 6.5 with juice on the under. Can allow some home runs, which is a bit of a worry, but he definitely has elite upside. Complete game shutout ability. Has not been as good at home. Definitely a worry here because it is a hitter's park. Pavetta against Atlanta. I do like the K upside in Pavetta, but I still don't love picking on Atlanta even without Cunha. 5.5 is his K prop, too strongly on the over. He's actually a minus 112 favorite, but we do have a game total of 9.5. And I believe I did see that the wind was blowing out to left field in Boston. So something to pay attention to there as well. Plenty of upside, but I think there's some volatility there. The only issues on the slate, there isn't a lot of pitching options to like. So we have to kind of be a little creative here. Luis Severino, aforementioned weather issues, a minus 142 favorite, game total of 9.5 in this one as well. K prop of 4.5. I think he's in play because of this slate. If he was on the main 9-gamer, probably not in play for me at this point. But since he is on the 6-gamer, he is somebody that's going to be in play. Jordan Hicks, going to be in play for me. Was strong against Arizona the first time. He hasn't been spectacular by any means, but given the slate of pitching, I will gladly use him. K-prop of just 4.5 with juice on the under. Which kind of is a little surprising. He's a slight underdog. But surprisingly, this game is actually tied with the Houston St. Louis game with the lowest over under on the slate. So it could be an offensive set of games for us. Montgomery, I just don't think I can go there. He just doesn't look right to me. His best start did come against San Francisco, which was his first start of the season. but he's just not looking as dominant. That's what happens when you miss spring training. Spencer Swellenbach, I don't think I'm going to go there, but I do like the upside. Boston obviously can strike out a lot, as seen by Max Fried yesterday. He's a slight underdog. Um, I don't know, maybe he has to be mixed in, but I just don't really like it. Don't really like, excuse me, anybody else down here. Ashby's being called up, but I don't, I don't know. Maybe he's an option against Philadelphia on this particular slate, but I think I'm going to try to hope that I don't have to use him. Um, his only major league start this year didn't look very good. I have to look in to see what he's looked like at AAA, but um, I do guess if there's one guy that I would, or one kind of pitcher I would use against Philadelphia, might be a left-handed pitcher, um, especially a day game after night game where we expect that Real Muto might be out. Um, but just seems really questionable to me, so I don't know that I want to go there. Overall, a pretty terrible slate of pitching options, to be honest. Let's take a look at the main one. Um, we obviously get some better pitching options on this slate, and somehow the better options are cheaper than the day slate, even though they're better pitcher. Interesting, interesting pricing on DraftKings today. Dylan Cease definitely in play for us. Minus 148 favorite, game total of 7.5. K prop of 6.5. Juice on the over. Has not been overly sharp, but even allowing these runs, he still had multiple starts around 20 fantasy points over his last four. No wins to show for it. But I think we get a decent start out of Cease against the Angels, who have been struggling a bit since their hot stretch. Logan Gilbert, kind of an up and down guy, hasn't been super sharp of late. Similar to George Kirby, is not as sharp on the road. K prop of 6.5, juice on the under. He is a minus 155 favorite, game total of 7.5. I think he's going to be in play tonight. I did fade Kirby yesterday, and he looked solid, and then he kind of fell apart a bit in the sixth, but um, just kind of those decisions we got to live with. Unfortunately, he was better than expected for me. Brady Singer, pitching on the road, hasn't been as strong, but he's been solid of late. I don't really like taking pitching against Cleveland, but I think I might have to consider him. He's kind of on the chopping block for me. We'll see as the slate goes on. K prop of just 4.5 with juice on the under. Cleveland just not a huge strikeout team right now. Paul Skeens against the elite Dodgers offense. Going to be really interesting. The Dodgers did struggle yesterday against Jared Jones. So I am a little bit intrigued here by Skeens. He actually is a minus 118 favorite. Um, Catches me off guard. K prop of 6.5, juice on the over. Well, that's one I don't like. Do we expect Skeens to just be used because of name and his huge fastball, or do we expect him to not be used because he's taking on the Dodgers? Um, he did mention, I think there was weather in this game. Yeah, it's the worst weather spot as of this morning. So we'll have to pay attention there. Carlos Rodon, I think we're going to have to go with him against the Twins. He was strong against them the first time. He's been much stronger when pitching at home. K prop of 5.5, juice on the over. A minus 198 favorite. So definitely somebody I'm going to be interested in. Barrios against Baltimore. Going to have to pass on that. He was solid against Baltimore the first time he faced them. He has been really good at home. I'm just not going to make it a habit of using a right-handed pitcher against Baltimore at this point. Uh, Curious the wind in Chicago. Looks like it's blowing across the field right now, or projected to be across the field. Fetty has been really strong, aside from two out of his last three starts. Hasn't been as good on the road. Actually, been pretty terrible. Um, but overall, the Cubs' offense recently has been pretty bad. So I might consider both pitchers in this game and Tyon and Fetty. Tyon hasn't been overly sharp either. Looking at their K props here, both are at 4.5, both with juice on the over. Um, the Cubs are a minus 185 favorite. Game total of 8.5 right now. We'll have to pay attention to that total. Gives us a key look into the potential wind. Paxton against Pittsburgh, maybe, but I'm not sure why he came out after 50 pitches. Oh, like he was pitching on just 4 days, right? Wait, that's a normal start. I don't know why that would be, uh, but it is what it is. Um, Decent matchup, but obviously weather. He's not somebody I'm excited to play, but if the weather clears up, I'll be fine using him. Braxton Garrett been really strong the last two starts. Tampa Bay does strike out a decent amount. Uh, he's going to be somebody I'm interested in, to be honest. He's a slight home dog. Game total of just 7.5. K prop of 5.5. Juice is on the under, but I like the matchup for Garrett, so I don't have a problem going with him. Uh, I'm gonna have to dig into Zach Eflin a little bit just to see. I have a feeling he's gonna be somewhat limited. He is favored in that game, so I am interested. But uh, again, we have to look into to see what kind of limitations he might have. Um, if it feels more like he's gonna go 4 innings, probably not gonna get there. Jose Soriano, last couple outings not been great. I am somewhat interested here. K prop with just 4.5 juice on the under, but he is an underdog. Game total is just 7.5, so that's why I have some interest. It's kind of the only guy down here I'd be interested in as of right now. So there we have it. There's the first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us and get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.